when I was coming to Vila Sul, I knew what to expect in terms of the city. Being there 6 years prior to the residency, I knew I will love the city, everything that it will offer. Not knowing what it will be, I will be satisfied. I knew that. I was anxious to meet my colleagues of the residency. Are they gonna like me? And all that stuff. And regarding the project, I didn't know what I was going to do, because I write in French. So I was hoping to translate maybe some parts of my books, and I was hoping to maybe develop some project that I could eventually publish in Brazil in the future. So it was really all expectations without or no expectations, just nothing clear. The first 2 weeks of the residency was really getting to know my colleagues, getting to know the city with the Tuesday tours that we had. It was being the second time I was coming to the city, I was seeing like a whole new other chapter about the city. I was seeing so much more than I had first explored, meeting people from the university who were doing studies about people living in favelas or living in the streets. And this was really interesting to give me inspiration for future ways of working with people in vulnerability situations, how to write for them. So this part was super interesting for me. And in these 2 first weeks was also a lot of like just going out with my colleagues, enjoying like every night it's like 3 shows back to back, and a lot of fun, meeting locals, sharing good times. Then I had the offer to participate in the literature festival, so I had to focus and shrink the amount of activities to that focus of translating. And I had the help of 2 students from the university who are collaborating with the Goethe-Institut of Vila Sul. So it's been more of a staying home, a bit more calm, doing some translation and discovering what it is to translate, with translators discussing all these cultural differences and making decisions about how we're going to translate. So we've been working on this book that I have here, which is it's like a self-fiction story about a travel I did in London. So it's not too long. It's pretty easy, I would say, as a first translation work, and it was super nice to be able to make it accessible for Brazilian public. So that was the next month, and now I'm in the last 2 weeks, so back to face that and discovering more different stuff, dance classes, percussion classes, discovering a bit more about candomblé, different topics that I didn't have the chance to explore as much. So apart from writing, I really I loved always, I think, from a child, dance, but I didn't have the chance so much to dance as a child. And I did so from 20 years old, and I just went into different styles. And I discovered Brazilian dances in 2017, which brought me to Brazil. And knowing that I had this residency, I definitely wanted to take advantage to do a bunch of dance classes. So I've been researching samba school here because I really love samba, and samba passista, no? And I discovered the importance really of the samba da Bahia and all the, like, I will say hundreds, because I don't even know how many styles of samba I discovered exist in the region of Bahia. And I went a lot with the school Projeto Samba Bahia with Livia Monteiro, a beautiful human. And I just discovered another school now, Casa Cultura CS Movimento, where they offer many different other dance classes that I didn't know of. I think there's one I'm gonna try today, Reinas y Reis dos Blocos. So I will tell you more about it after. And Danza dos Orixas that I did in the past. Yeah, just so much to discover. So if you come to Salvador, just like try and discover what calls you. At the end of this residency, I started thinking of what I'm going to bring back to Canada and in my artistic practice. And having discovered a lot of the African heritage and something I didn't really have the chance to dive into last time I came here 6 years ago was the indigenous heritage of Brazil, of Bahia, and I've been able to travel a bit to other, like Chapada Diamantina, where I could meet people hosting ceremonies coming directly from indigenous communities. This was very interesting for me because my family having also like a background from indigenous communities in Canada, where also there was genocides, and it's a culture that was really like shut down. And there's this movement, like for African communities, to really revalue their culture. This was just made me really think of my own background. And as I was mentioning, meeting a university professor, Urpi, who is working with women who are more vulnerable financially, but are so strong to defend their properties and their community. And how she made a book with these women so that these women could talk about themselves by themselves. All these were, let's say, the bits of insights that I bring back with me, because it made me think of how I would prefer to talk about myself or help people talk about themselves. I find it much more easier, and I find it also much more true. And this is also the approach that I had at some point when I started writing like this book, and then trying to get into more fictional characters. Just such a headache, but also useful and like very practical, very useful to bring up stories for other people who don't have a voice, and bring their situation to consciousness of like the society. But I also started thinking, well, this is so much more work, and if I was able to do like Urpi and just like I would have to dig into like the legal stuff, but just be able to give voices to other people, that would be super nice. So this is something I'm going to keep in mind for later. And apart from that, when I said like talking about myself, it made me think about how every person carry their own mission based on their own life and their ancestors. People here are a lot talking about their ancestors, and the dance too is really a lot about reliving the ancestors' way of lives. And for me, what it made me want to do more, I started actually doing that here. I started like having Zooms with my uncles and my aunts, and asking them to tell me about my great-grandparents and where they were from and how they were, and just reconnecting with my own roots, and made me want to just know more about where I come from. And then I'm always emotional and then be able to write more about where I come from, and if I want to like learn songs that are really from my territory, with my my language being French, but being this French of Quebec that has evolved there with different influences from people from different places, and never like forgetting the indigenous background, that I also wrote a book about that. So I think when I get back to Canada, I'm gonna read all the books that I bought here about Brazil and continue the dances because it's just so fun. But I'm also gonna invest time in researching about my own ancestors and what I want to bring up through my own. To conclude, I think the word as this word that a lot of people use here, and it's just gratidão. I want to thank Flipello for receiving me. I want to thank the Vila Institute, Lionel and Marcela and Federique, who gave me this opportunity to connect with different people and the festival, and who were always there to support and take videos and photos and share on the social medias. And thank, of course, the Conseil des Arts et des Lettres du Québec, who gave me this opportunity to come here. Yeah, and just so many people to thank, like all these professors, all these new friends, my colleagues. I don't want to forget anyone, but basically every person I met on the beach who just came to me to sell stuff and just shared about what they know about everything, or share just lessons of life and love and acceptance and resilience. So yeah, gratidão.